But I always like to be prompt and reward the people who get here on time. And we have a young lady that is here on time. And I told her that we would start quickly. So just as we always do, why don't we start down that end and explain, and just give your name and what you do for the city, so that the speaker here will know. John, you want to join us up here?
Or Dave.
Adam, you want to start off?
Sure. I'm Adam Bovilski. I'm the director of the Human Relations and Fair Rent Department, dealing with a variety of civil rights and anti-homelessness initiatives.
Bill Arlen, Chief Building Official for the City of Norwalk.
Mike Green, Director of Planning and Zoning.
Rick McQuaid, Town Clerk. John Codes, Common Council. Tom DeHauer, Police Chief.
Shannon O'Toole, Jan Durko, Common Council.
Eloise Melendez, Common Council.
Elizabeth Stocker, Director of Economic Development out of the Mayor's Office.
Chris Bradley, Library Director.
And Robert Barron, the Acting Finance Director. Bruce Schmento, the Department of Public Works.
Larry Riley, Assistant Fire Chief. Mike Mulcahy, Director of Recreation and Parks.
Bruce Kimmel, Common Council.
Linda DeLello, Norwalk Transit District.
Okay, well, thank you, and I don't want to delay you any longer. I know you have a statement you'd like to read, and it's time for you to read your statement. Sure, would you like the microphone?
My concerns are for the people on Belden Hill Road and Gristmill Road and North Sierra Road. My family and I moved here in
That's okay. Would you like me to read it for you?
Oh.
I'll read it for you. Okay. Even though I didn't bring my glasses. My family and I moved to what we thought was the Silver Mine area in 1973 to 55 Oakwood Avenue. The area was dark, very quiet, and very private. We observed perhaps 25 cars at the most coming and going. It was a wonderful neighborhood to raise a family. Across the street is Oakwood Court. Our children rode their bikes and crossed the street without fear of danger. My children grew, and as time progressed, so did the area. In 1992, the Route 7 extension was opened. Don't we all know that? Oakwood Avenue was split, and now it became North Sear Hill, and Belden Hill Road. Since the Route 7 extender was opened, here are some of the negative situations that occur. Posted quite plainly, a no-through truck sign posted at the beginning of Belden Hill Road in Norwalk, and also the continuation of Belden Hill Road in Wilton and Old Belden Hill Road. When I inquired as to what consequences are connected with this sign, I was told by the city only trucks with business in the area could use this residential road. All others would incur a warning, and repeat offenders would be ticketed. One day, I happened to be behind a very large 18-wheeler on my way home. He came up Gristmill and turned right onto Belden Hill. I decided to follow him to see if, in fact, he had a job in the area. Not too surprising, he did not. I followed up Belden Hill Road to Wilton, up to the Route 7 Wilton intersection, and then left to Richfield, Georgetown. The truck was, in fact, going north. When I asked the traffic department about that, I was asked, "Do you expect us to stop every truck that comes through?" My home is directly in front of the stop sign when you reach the intersection of Gristmill Road, Belden Hill Road, and North Sear Hill Road. I'm frequently weeding or planting on the hill facing Gristmill Road, and have observed car transports carrying 6 new cars going to Georgetown Motors, flatbed trucks carrying backhoes, payloaders, and shovels, cement trucks, multiple landscape trucks, and every and any commercial type vehicle you can imagine. Lastly, but certainly not least, motorcycles passing my home at all hours of the day and night, as early as 4 a.m. and as late as 12 midnight, and always on Saturday and Sunday when they're taking their scenic ride to Richfield. Belden Hill Road has now become a thoroughfare. From 25 cars when it was Oakwood Avenue in 1973 to over 3,000 cars, trucks, buses, and even 18-wheel transport vehicles in 2015. To try and alleviate some of the larger vehicles, I requested a speed bump. Not a large speed bump, just a little deterrent. I was told the road is too short. I dispute that because James Street has 3 speed bumps and is just as long as Belden Hill. The speed limit is never adhered to. We take our lives in our hands getting in and out of the driveway, getting the mail, and bringing the garbage up and down to the sidewalk. stop sign on the corner of Grist Mill and Belden Hill had to be replaced 5 or 6 times because it was knocked over. I had to replace my mailbox 3 times. Twice it was broken. Once an 18-wheel took it right out of the ground and drove away with it. I've lost at least 6 shrubs on my hill because of cars speeding up Grist Mill, unable to make the right-hand turn onto Belden Hill, and pow, straight up the hill. That was a pow, right? Okay. Straight up the hill. Because of these violations, I requested a guardrail in front of my sidewalk. I was told it doesn't meet criteria and was cost prohibitive. How about those left-right hand arrows like the ones as you're coming off of the extension? When it snows, the snow plows cover drainage grates and we had to call and request DPW to remove the snow and cover them. When we have sleet and freezing rain, Belden Hill is in fact a hill. My mailbox was knocked down under the circumstances and had to be replaced. In conclusion, August 2014, I requested police come and park in my driveway and across the street, Oakwood Court, to capture the cars not stopping at the stop sign, speedsters, texters, and cell phone users, plus the oversized trucks coming and going to and from Ridgefield, Georgetown, and Bethel. Be aware, I can see all of Grist Mill Road and the intersection in question from my window. The traffic department sent a patrol car which sat by Old Belden Hill for approximately 3 to 4 hours, twice. Never came up to the area I was complaining about. I haven't seen a patrol car since. Sincerely, Rebecca Robinson, 585 Belden Hill Road, Norwalk, Connecticut. So I guess the chief and DPW can kind of talk to them about some of that. Mr. Police Chief?
There's a list of,
Oh. Okay, here's a list of license plates and,
wow, those are those muscle cars?
okay.
Muscle cars.
All right. So I'll give that to the chief as well and ask him to respond.
Okay.
Chief?
Well, let me address the no-through trucks first. The information that you got is not completely accurate. It's any vehicle that originates in the city or has business in the city is exempt from the no-through trucks. So if it's a landscaper that has a business on Meadow Street or somewhere in South Norwalk where there's a lot of landscapers, they can travel on any road even if it's a no-through truck street. Similarly, any FedEx truck, UPS,
What city?
I'm sorry?
Business in what city?
In Norwalk. If they originate, if their business is based in Norwalk, they can operate on any street in Norwalk, even if it's a no-through truck street.
Okay.
So-
A quarter of a mile from Wilton. Once they pass my house, they're going into the next town.
Correct. But if they originate in Norwalk, they can do that. So we'd have to know that that truck did not initially originate in Norwalk. Their business was not based here. So in other words, like a car transport, if they picked up cars on Westport Avenue and then were driving up and wanted to take Belden Hill, I know you don't like it, but that's not a violation of the no-through trucks. So it would only be a truck that does not originate in Norwalk, has no business in Norwalk, and then went through Norwalk. So in other words, a truck picking up cars in Westport that went through Norwalk and went to Wilton would be in violation. That would be the violation.
So if I see a truck that says Richfield, Bethel,
I'm sorry?
if I see a truck that says Richfield or Bethel and is coming down Belden Hill Road into Norwalk, then they're in violation.
Only if they traveled all the way through Norwalk without any business here. If they have any business in Norwalk, they would not be in violation.
Yeah, that's correct. The no-through truck definition, according to state statute,
Well,
is
what's it
exactly.
there for?
Well, it's not, it's very ineffective. And that's what the chief says, totally ineffective.
Totally.
Yeah.
But that's the only trucks we can enforce.
But the speeding and the stop signs is a different story, and the chief can do something about that.
Yeah, we'll check into that. I can't, I don't remember your complaint, to be honest with you, from 2014. If you spoke to me, I don't know, I don't remember, but we'll.
Dave, his name is Dave.
Okay, that was the deputy chief,
Deputy
Dave Rennie,
chief,
well,
yeah.
former deputy chief.
Yeah.
But I'll look into this again. The muscle cars are a problem. We've had them racing on Route 7 from time to time.
Why are they allowed to have those mufflers so loud?
Well, there is a,
Decibel.
well, not decibel, there is a violation for excessive noise for improper mufflers, and we do ticket those. Difficulty is catching them on Route 7 connector, which is actually state roads, but we assist
We
them.
gave you a good list there. License plates and everything. My life is pretty miserable over there. Really, as you can tell. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, you can stay. I think the chief will give you, why don't you take a business card, takes it, you have the information for, he has your information. He'll make sure somebody gets back in touch with you and updates. And it's important that if the chief has some enforcement there, if you don't feel it's being effective, that you kind of communicate with the chief on a regular basis.
Well, I suggested today that you sit in my driveway, the stop sign is right there, and you'll see how they fly through the stuff. They don't stop. I've even reported buses, school buses, because they just slide through the stop signs. And that's illegal, I know.
I'll have the traffic unit contact you and do some enforcement up there.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you for being here.
thank you.
Is there anything DPW?
I'm sorry? Oh, DPW, I guess it was just the, we said they cover over the grates with the snow and stuff.
I've got the address.
Yeah,
That's a very dangerous hill, remember?
it is, yeah.
Because it goes down into Grist Mill.
I'm very familiar with it, actually.
Well, a lot of accidents over there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Yes,
Yes.
and your name?
My name is Harold Whitmore. I live on West Main Street. I'm from the West Main Association. My concern over on West Main is the speeding on West Main Street. It seemed to have gotten a little worse over the past month and a half. I know summertime with the weather and everything, it happens to change. And I would imagine it will slow down once the weather gets colder and the snow on the ground. At any rate, they speed through there. There are times where in the middle of the night we'll hear people spinning their tires and flying down the street. And we come out in the morning and of course there are marks in the road. That's a concern. I know in previous years, and I'm going a number of years back, my mother had asked, along with the association of course, if there could be speed bumps put on West Main. And I believe that was declined because of it's a cut through from what they were told back then, the street. I'm not asking for any speed humps. West Main Association is not asking for any speed humps right now. We're just asking for just some presence on West Main Street. In the area of Home Street as well. Just up and down West Main Street, from Catherine down to Main Street near Continental Manor. And it's at various times of the day, it happens. Another concern, speaking of Home Street, is the parking on Home Street. Home Street is a very narrow street, and there is parking on both sides of the street. They park on both sides of the street at any given time. It's very tough to get down. If it can't be corrected by no parking signs or some other, maybe they should just make it a one-way. I have no idea how that would happen. But something definitely needs to be done. And another concern, I'm sorry, this is the last concern.
That's all right.
Is Catherine Street, on the top of West Main Street, Catherine Street. Across the street is Brandon's Lawn Maintenance. They do a lot of business over there, which is fantastic. But when you get a number of trucks on Catherine Street, it creates an issue when you pull out of West Main Street trying to look right. They don't normally park to the left, but coming up West Main Street onto Catherine. If you look to the right, it's very difficult because a lot of times they park right on the corner. They have the trailers there at times when they're full in the parking lot at Brandon's. And it's almost like an accident waiting to happen because if you pull out too far, you pull out into the lane, the oncoming traffic. So, again, I don't know what can be done there, but again, it's a concern that we've run into that a number of times.
Donna King is the city clerk, and she's taking notes of everything you're saying.
Okay.
And she'll pass it on to the appropriate people to take a look. We'll have Home Street parking, have the traffic department take a look at it.
Okay.
As far as the parking on Catherine Street, there's violations if they're parking within 25 feet of an intersection. The chief can take care of that, and he can also take a look at the speeding. I know at one time on West Main Street, there all seemed to be a lot of abandoned vehicles. Is that kind of
Oh, that's definitely gone by the wayside. There
Okay,
are not as many
good.
abandoned vehicles. There are a lot of people involved. They make phone calls to get the abandoned cars out of there, so no, that is not an issue anymore.
Okay, good, thank you. Anybody else have anything to say, ask? point out? Joe, you're smiling.
I'll go on the record as saying I love my wife and I love the, service she gives to the city.
All right.
Our anniversary's coming up.
We'll go on the record saying we love your wife too, how's that?
How do you spell it?
Don, you have that date, you take that down, Don?
I truly, truly appreciate the amount of time you come out here and give to hear from the public. Like tonight, most of the times we have more people from the Common Council and from the city departments here than we have residents. I can only say that when we first started out, we got some pretty good crowds. And I think thanks to you and thanks to the process, people have a voice, and we're not getting the big number of people that we did before. We'll continue to have them, but I don't want to hold you any later. You came out on a Monday night when you could be home watching Monday Night Football. I think I could probably get you home by that time. Even though the chief doesn't want to go watch anybody other than the Giants.
Well, I'm watching too.
Okay. So unless there's anything else that anybody has to offer or wants to say, thank you.